Oh! No!
Dark Souls 1 is generally considered one of the hardest games ever made, and started the entire Souls genre. Just ignore Demon Souls. So me, as an old player, I decided to start playing the rest of the Souls games, besides these two, because I don't have a PlayStation. Anyways, I first started off with making my character, which I spent exactly 2 seconds on making. After one cutscene, I woke up in a jail cell looking fabulous as usual, and then some random knight showed up and threw a body down my cell, which also had the key to my cell, so now I'm officially free. With my freedom, I went ahead and explored a bit until this giant demon jumped me. Also, sorry if there's some frame drops for the starting area. I tried to record and stream at the same time, so my frames kind of just died. Anyways, after evading this demon like I do with taxes, I went ahead and found the knight again, who gave me my healing items and also explained what I'll be doing at the start of the game. And that's ringing the 2 bells of awakening. But right before I get started with that, I quickly took care of the demon from earlier. Now that I've taken care of this guy, I went ahead and got kidnapped by some random bird and got put into Firelink Shrine, which is the hub area of the game. Anyways, from here I progressed to the first real area of the game. That also includes the first Bell of Awakening, Undead Burg, which had a bit of enemies. Anyways, after killing these guys for a while, I found the first boss of the game, the Taurus Demon, which, after a bit of dying, people on my stream gave me some tips, like to double wield my weapon to do more damage, and also use an item I found earlier called the Gold Pine Resin to do even more damage than before. And with all that, I'm officially ready to fight the first boss.
You! Oh my god! What? That's a lot more. Damn! Not afraid of you anymore! Oh. Okay, wait. Heal. Oh! Woo! Yeah!
Now that I've been the Taurus Demon, I finally went with one of the only NPCs I actually care about, Solaire, which will be my homie for the rest of the game. After that, I went ahead and died to this dragon, then got back to where I was, and took a side path to arrive to the next section of Undead Burg, which has many enemies. After clearing out all the enemies here, I found this black knight who rocked my shit, so I decided to leave him for the meantime. And after a bit more running, I found Andre, who's a blacksmith, so now I can officially upgrade my weapons. While running around more, I found the Firekeeper soul, which can upgrade my Estus, along with a shortcut to Firelink Shrine. And after getting jumped by a ton of these fuckers, I found a fog wall that led me to the guardian of the first Bell of Awakening, the gargoyles. This. It did nothing. Let's retry that.
Oh, what?
She's the boss.
Oh, you're fucked. Oh, you're fucked. Oh, you're dead. You're dead. You're dead!
Now that I've beaten the gargoyles, I went ahead and rung the first Bell of Awakening. But before I go to the final section of this area, I first of all went back and got revenge on this knight and got his weapon, along with finding this big guy named Havel, who after suffering for a bit went down and gave me his ring, which boosts the equip load I have, which I'll be using for pretty much the entire game. And now, I'm on to the final section of Undead Burg, the underground section, which besides a few dogs and some thugs, this place was a cakewalk, along with the boss here, the Capra Demon, who went down in a couple of swings. But now that I've defeated the Capra Demon, I got the key to the depths, which is one of the worst locations in the game. At first you're greeted with regular enemies that you have seen before, like these humans and rats. But these guys aren't the problem. It's one certain section of this area, the goddamn Basilisk area, which is not only pretty much mandatory to go through to get to the boss of this area, but it's also home to these fuckers. At first they look, interesting, but what they do is the worst thing about this place. They apply the cursed effect, which halves your health, and it cannot be reset unless you buy something that costs 4,000 souls. So to no one's surprise, I got cursed, along with me losing all my souls, and I have to grind for 4,000 souls just to cure this effect. And after a while of grinding, I finally cured it, but it's only one-time use, so I gotta be careful. Luckily, I found a shortcut that leads me straight to the boss, skipping the Basilisk area, but the boss here isn't so great either. The Gaping Dragon has one of the shittiest hitboxes I've ever seen, along with just having a bad camera the entire fight. I hate this area so much. But there's still hope, because you see, I can still summon Solaire for this fight. Woo! Just save damage right here. No! Solaire!
I think I can hit him with this. I didn't want him before. Oh, come on, so close! No! Come on. Come on. No!
Now that I've been the Gaping Dragon, I got a key to Blighttown, which is one of the worst areas of the game. And instead of taking the main path, which would probably take me hours to finish, I instead took a side path under a Firelink Shrine. And that still couldn't save me from how shitty this area is. First of all, the only bonfire is at the bottom. And to get to that, you have to run around a bunch of shitty parkour sections. Which, for anyone who doesn't know, the fall damage in Dark Souls 1 is really great. But after a couple of tries, I finally found this weird looking elevator that led me all the way down. And you would think I can finally enjoy something from this area, right? The lower section of Blighttown is a poison swamp, which also slows your movement by a shit ton. Oh, and also there's these guys chucking rocks at you while you're trying to run around. But with all of that, I finally found the Guardian of the Second Bell of Awakening, which she has an interesting personality per se.
I don't know how much that is. That's 1,000. Let me lock on. Let me lock on. I need her to stop attacking so I can get the... Damn, I thought she was gonna hug him. Okay. Explosion. Come on. Oh, she's dead. She's dead. She's dead. Yeah! Woo!
Now that being Quelaag, I rung the Second Bell of Awakening, which unlocks Sense Fortress. But because I don't want to lose all my sanity just yet, I went a bit further from the boss arena to find a boss called Seath the Discharge, which can be cheesed by pulling him all the way back to the start of the boss arena. On the way back, I found this hidden wall containing Quelaag's sick sister, and she'll be helpful later on. And after that, I decided the hell can wait a little bit longer. So I went to Darkroot Basin, which besides a couple of tree guys, this place doesn't have many enemies. But what I did find here was this Black Knight who has the strongest weapon in the game, the Black Knight Halberd. So I of course borrowed his weapon with no harm, and after a bit more exploring, I found the Moonlight Barfly, which besides not being able to hit him until he goes down, was no issue. And then I buy an item called the Crest of Artorias, which unlocks the next area of this place, and also contained one of the best farming spots of the game, which I'll be coming back to a lot. More on that later. And now, after a bit more exploring, I found this graveyard, and once I got close, I met Seath.
Okay. Ow. Why is it so hard to hit you? I'm sorry.
Now that I've sadly killed Seath, I progress forward to the Gates of Hell, as Sense Fortress is one of the worst locations in the game. If anything was a paying job, I'd be living on a yacht right now. Because Sense Fortress is worse than Blighttown and the Depths combined, with shitty snakes that try to knock you off all the time, and is also filled with traps that if you get hit by them once, you're fucked. And it took me many attempts just to progress a bit further, and once I die I have to do everything I just did. But eventually, after many tries, I finally found the bonfire and the boss of this area, the Iron Golem.
Ow. Oh my. I'm fucked. Okay. Oh, there we go. That's big damage. Oh my, what the hell? Ow! You're fucked. Let's finish off with a heavy. I missed. Heavy! Yeah!
Now that I've beaten the Iron Golem, I touched this Ring of Light, which after touching it, I got touched myself by a bunch of demon guys, and got dragged into Anor Londo, which looks amazing. After a bit of running, I found a couple of these big guys that are tanky as fuck and also respawn, so that's fun. After a couple of times of going back and forth, I found the Anor Londo archers, which for those who don't know, totally didn't kill me and didn't make me have to do a 10-minute run back 4 times. After I got through the Anor Londo archers first try, I finally found a bonfire with my homie Solaire right next to it. After that, I found this hidden room that gave me the full Havel armor set, which is the best armor set to just stand around and hit enemies. After that, I tried a skip suggested by my chat, and after a while, I got it. And after a bit more running, I found a summon sign for Solaire and the boss of this area, Ornstein and Smo, which I beat them very easily. At this point, I decided I need to put rules on myself. Why are you asking? I don't know. First rule, I have to use any other weapon besides the Black Knight Halberd in a boss fight. And rule 2, this does not apply to shitty bosses and if the bosses are bullshit. And with those rules set in place, I took an elevator up to meet a great chest ahead Guinevere, who gives me the Lordvessel, which means I can now warp. So I of course think her in the only way I know. And doing that turned all of Anor Londo dark. After that, I found this big ass painting that led me to the painted wall of Ariamis, which can't be left until you finish this entire area. And besides being confusing as fuck, and having these wheel guy enemies which are the bane of my existence, this place was kind of really easy to go through. And after a bit of being lost, I finally managed to find my way to the boss of this area, which you couldn't see until you stun her, which took me pretty much the entire fight. After I beat her to a pulp on my first try, I made my way back to Anor Londo to beat one final boss there, Gwyndolin, which is the worst boss up until now. This boss only has 3 moves, and each one of them is more annoying than the last. The first attack he has is this big beam attack that can go through pillars, and doing like half her health. His second attack is these small beam attacks, which you can hide behind a pillar to survive through. But if this fucker decides to use the big beam attack at the same time, you're fucked. And his final attack is this dagger throw attack, which besides surprising you on the first time it happens, isn't too bad. But all of this combined doesn't sound too bad. Surely there's no twist to this boss fight, right? Every time you get closer, he teleports away. Great. So, to not lose my sanity too much, I decided to use the Black Knight Halberd on this one.
Big one. I'm mashing it. Double hit, that's good. This one's easy to watch. Oh, okay. No! I tried to... Oh my god. Yes! Oh my god, this piece of shit! Fuck you! Now that being Gwyndolin, I progressed to the next area of the game, the Catacombs, which were kind of lackluster. Besides some skeletons that won't die, this place was just pulling a couple of levers and shoving down a hole, until the skeleton blacksmith opens up a path for me that, besides having the worst enemies in the game, the boss of this place, named Pinwheel, was really easy. After that, I went to the demon ruins, which besides having a reskin of the Assailant demon, didn't really have much in it either. But one thing it did have is a shortcut to Quelaag's 6th sister, which will be important very soon, trust me. After that, I went to explore an area below Firelink Shrine, that being the new Londo ruins, which had ghosts roaming around that can only be killed once you consume an item called Transient Curse. And after becoming a Ghostbuster, I found this elevator that led me to the next boss, which is one of the 4 most important bosses in the game, because you see, after you ring the 2 bells of awakening, you need to get 4 Lord Souls to get to the final boss of this game. Each one of the Lord Souls drops from 4 different bosses, and first up is the 4 Kings, which were bullshit. Kinda. You see, the arena makes me super lost half the time, their hitboxes are kinda janky, and it's also a gank, unless you're really fast in killing each one. But with a trance of my usual weapon, I decided I had enough of this bullshit and equipped the full Havel armor set, along with the Black Knight Halberd.
juicy. Oh, you're fucked. Oh my god, this is sad. I just healed. Oh, that's an AoE. Wait. Yeah, wait, they're getting smart. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. What's 9 plus 10? I was gonna just hit him, but hey, there you go. I decided I had enough. I had enough of your torturing. Okay, you're dead. There we go. The 5 kings. There we go. Oh, what happened?
Why? Why? After all this searching, I still cannot find it.
That was Solaire. Throughout the game he searches for one thing, his son, and now, after so much time, he still couldn't find it. And that kind of worried me, because Souls games have a notorious reputation of killing their characters, which is when I learned that Solaire will die. But there is one way I can save him, and for that, I need Quelaag's sister. Next to where I fought the Asylum Demon reskin, there's this way down that's blocked off midway by this wall, and in order to open this wall, I had to give Quelaag's sister 30 humanity, which humanity is only used for pretty much bonfires anyways, but one small problem, I don't have 30 humanity. I don't have any humanity whatsoever. I already gave her 9 before, which is nowhere enough, but there's one enemy I can farm to get humanity from, that being rats. But before I go ahead and farm for an hour, I first of all went back to hell to grab the Serpent Covenant's ring, which boosts iron discovery, meaning drops from enemies happen more frequently. And remember that I gave her 9 humanity? Well, I thought I gave her 16. Why? I have no clue. So when I went back and gave her 6 humanity, which won't be enough no matter what, I was kind of confused. So I went back to farm 5 more, which wasn't enough, then 5 more, and that again wasn't enough, and then 5 more, and that again wasn't enough. Oh, that was enough, never mind. Now that I unlocked this door, I went to fight with Solaire against the Stampede Demon, which is the first time I fought him I died because of the lava damage, but luckily I cut his tail off, and that gave me a ring that will protect me against lava. Hey, buddy. Ow. Pop his tail. I'm a tad bit over level. I don't know what I'm talking about. Probably like 2 levels ahead. Just a bit. Now that me and Solaire beat the Stampede Demon, I went to the shortcut I unlocked thanks to Quelaag's sister and found Solaire there. And in order to fully save him, I just need to kill all these bug guys, and now Solaire is officially saved. Yippee! Before I continue to get the rest of the Lordvessel bosses, I'll first of all go to the DLC. And getting to the DLC is the most confusing thing ever. First of all, you need to go to Darkroot Basin and kill this Hydra, which I totally didn't die trying to get him. Once you kill the Hydra, you go around the lake the Hydra was in, then relog to have this golden guy spawn, kill him, which then this random girl pops up, and then you need to go to the Duke's archives and kill this blue guy to get a key, then go back to the lake and get close to this portal and get grabbed, and bada bing, bada bang, I'm now in the DLC. And right before I go fight the first boss of the DLC, I first of all want to remind you guys to like and subscribe, as I've been no-lifing this video for the past couple of days, so I would appreciate it if you guys subscribed. Also, if you want to see more Souls-like content, I'm gonna start streaming Dark Souls 2 on the 2nd of August at 5 PM CCST, and if you don't like streams, you can watch my Elden Ring video after this one. Anyways, back to the video. Now that I'm in the DLC, I woke up in this random garden, and after like 2 seconds of walking, I found the first boss of the DLC, the Sanctuary Guardian. I'm not gonna do that. That's a new attack, that's a new attack. That is insane. Oh my. What? It's a wave? Oh my. Some people say the DLC is a lot harder. Ow. Ow. Oh, thank God he missed. Greedy. He poisoned me? What? Oh, big damage. You're dead. Oh! Now that being the Sanctuary Guardian, I went ahead and found the Ulsil Sanctuary, which besides some guys with forks and these big motherfuckers, I mainly just ran around until I found this elevator that gave me a shortcut to the next boss, Artorias, which is probably the hardest boss up until now, and I don't know why, but my weapon just did jack shit damage, and after many tries, I decided to use a halberd. Not the Black Knight halberd, just a halberd. Great weapon. Great weapon I chose. Maybe I shouldn't speak. Now that being Artorias, I progressed forward to Ulsil Township, which in it had a bunch of these crazy guys, and these casters who were the bane of my existence throughout this entire area. And after a bit of wandering around, I found this hidden wall that contained this silver pendant, which can deflect these beams, which will be important for the next boss. Anyways, after a bit more dying, I found the Abyss, which besides having these humanity looking guys, there wasn't much enemies here or just anything in general, but one thing it did have is the boss of this area, Manus, Father of the Abyss, which is arguably the hardest boss in the game. Bullshit. Great! Let me... Whoa! I'm dead! I'm dead! Heal. Heal. Stop. You can't just pull that shit. You can't do that! Stop! Ah! Stop, I dodged.
Yes! 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 Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god, I did it! Yes! Yes!
Now that I finally killed Manus, I progressed forward to kill the last boss of the DLC, Calamite. I first of all need to go down to this ladder and then get killed by this guy, which afterwards I go to this tower with this giant, who by the way is blind, and he just shoots this dragon in the wing, forcing him to come down to the floor, and I decide to use a regular halberd because my other weapons do jack shit damage.
What the fuck? I got my ears. What can I say? I just know the telegraph. What can I say? Okay. Consider this game's bullshit. Okay, dodge. Oh no, I might be dead. Let me hit! How? He's dead! Yeah! Woo!
Now that I finished the DLC, I progressed forward to kill the last 4 bosses of the game, starting with the Bed of Chaos, which is the second worst boss in the game. This boss is a gimmick boss, where you have to hit these 2 weak points at the sides, and then hit this weak point in the middle. One small problem. This boss has shitty hitboxes, and their hits can cover pretty much the entire arena. But this is not even the worst part, because after you destroy one weak point, the floor starts to break, allowing the boss to just knock you off. And after many attempts, I've finally managed to get the second weak point and also the final weak point. And now that I've killed the Bed of Chaos, I'm on to the second to last Lordvessel boss, Lord Nito, which is behind the worst location in the game, the Tomb of the Giants, which is worse than Blighttown and the Depths and Sense Fortress combined. Just in order to see where I'm going, I need to equip this helmet, and then there's the enemies of this area, the goddamn skeleton dogs, which are one of the worst enemies in the game. But eventually, after much bullshit, I finally found the boss of this area, Lord Nito, which is a gank.
Dude! What is that bullshit?
No, I'm doing amazing. This is a fantastic boss fight.
Better yet! I love it that I can lock on!
You're fucked.
Yes! Yes! Eat! Shit!
Now that being Nito, I went to the final Lordvessel boss, Seath the Scaleless, which besides a couple of crystal guys, I surprisingly found Seath really fat, and I can't hit him. After I died, I woke up in his jail cell, so I of course left my jail cell very peacefully, and after a bit of wandering around, I found this key that led me to a place with a bunch of random puzzles. Eventually, after a bit of exploring, I found this exit outside, which had this giant crystal cave, and besides having to walk on invisible bridges, was really easy. And then I found this crystal thingy, which is when Seath showed up to stop me.
Ooh, big damage.
That hug him, I guess.
Yo, move your fucking fat ass, bro.
Oh man, I got closer than I dare.
I don't like the look of that!
That's just an AoE, I don't know what to do against that.
You're getting top shit on.
I need just wait to counter that, but it's not full. Anyway, it is. Woo! Let's finish it off with a heavy. Never mind. Okay. Now that I've killed the final Lord Soul boss, I went back to Firelink Shrine and put all of the Lord Souls into this pot, which opened the final area of the game, Kiln of the First Flame, which, besides looking amazing and having these black knights, didn't really have much in it. But right next to the fog wall of the final boss, I found one final summon for my boy Solaire, and now it's time to link the First Flame. Here it is, Gwyn! Ow. I missed. Oh, Solaire, go ahead. Oh god, I'm missing all my shots. I just... Oh my. Can I backstab him? Oh, you're dead. Solaire! We did it! We did it! Thank you so much for watching until the end, and wow, what an amazing game. If you haven't played this game, please do give it a shot. It's genuinely in my top 5 now, and although I gave it slack throughout the video, I had an amazing time playing this game. Anyways, bye!